Microphone. I always forget to unmute myself, and I'm sitting here going, talking, and nobody's listening because I muted the microphones. You don't hear bleed over from the intro. Guys, it is Sunday, and that means welcome to the Snark Lounge. So we have a good show for you tonight. Tonight we are going to be talking about China, expectations versus reality, because we all have expectations of, well, virtually everything in life, but somehow it doesn't always turn out like we think it will. Of course, I have a banging guest I want to bring on, and let's go ahead and bring them in. First, I want to bring in my lovely better half, who was not here last week. It's Bunny.
Hi.
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 How you doing?
Yeah, see, I have a new haircut.
So she got herself a really cool hairdo this week, and it looks just amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Also, I want to bring in the man, the myth, the legend. It's Radio.
Woo.
Hey, guys.
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, and you?
That's good. I'm glad to hear that, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
And, of course, everybody's favorite, the man who just relocated himself. So, Simon, also with a banging haircut.
Thank you.
What's going on?
But if you don't mind my saying so, I still think my wife's haircut looks a little better.
The noise was like in Moscow.
Yeah, I think we're having some internet kerfuffle. So,
Yeah.
internet kerfuffle.
That's what I'm having for dinner.
So, can everybody hear me? Can you hear me okay?
It's very mumbly. I can't hear you too well.
You can't hear me too well. Okay. Simon, can we hear you?
I can't hear you. You're breaking up.
So,
Simon's frozen.
I see that movie. It's like just like the wind blowing whenever I speak.
okay, let's try this. Try taking this off. See if that helps a little bit. How's that? Is that any better? Bear with us, guys. The internet is kind of funky. So Simon's mic. Yes, we have serious kerfuffle tonight. So we have some serious kerfuffle.
Seriously.
So Jamaica Funk says, "What is he using for a mic? A phaser? I don't know." So let's see if we can identify these one at a time. Bunny, how's your mic? Let's hear. Can you hear me?
Clear, clear, clear.
Simon's hair is okay. Whoever is that hair? Oh no, it's not. It's not his hair.
I think I'm maybe getting better. Maybe getting better. So, all right. Well, let's see if we can just kind of push through this. So, Radio, let's hear. Has your mic working, man?
Can't. What? What's going on?
It's fine.
What's going on? I can't hear the question or anything. What's going on? It's 5 minutes, like one. He sounds like a robot in static.
I'm trying to determine the problem. Let's see. Jamaica Funk says everyone else is cool. Okay, so
Everyone is cool.
we're going to ask Jamaica Funk to give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. How's Bunny sound, Jamaica? Bunny sound okay?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi. I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Okay. Radio, how you sounding, man?
Hello, everybody.
Clear.
So
Let's check. Yeah, I can't.
Simon is reloading. For those of you who can hear my voice in internet land, I apologize for the internet kerfuffle. So let's see if it says Radio's cool, Bunny's cool.
Okay.
Snarky's cool. All right, Simon. Let's see if that's working for you now.
Okay.
I just realized.
Yeah, Simon. Simon's the one that's very. Simon is definitely. I'm watching it on my phone. It's like he went to like a different dimension with his voice.
I just
I'm
realized those
Simon from the
headphones
future.
on Simon. Let's see. Simon is muted right now.
Yes.
Let's see if we can unmute him. There we go. How is Simon sounding, Lau? Can you hear you?
Yes.
All right. Yes, we have the
I like that.
pew pew pew, the Star Wars
Wars.
effect. Yes, we have the. Although I did realize that Simon looks just like RoboCop when he has the part of his mask taken off there. So, all right.
Which one? One, two, or three?
I apologize again. I'm going to throw that up here, guys. Today is looks like we are having nothing but internet kerfuffle. I apologize again. I'm going to throw that up here, guys. Today is looks like we are having nothing but internet kerfuffle. I apologize again. Bunny, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
All right. Ooh, we have the Beijing bikini going on. So, all right. So, Jamaican Funk says true. True story. Okay. Well, let's see if
True
we can
story.
push through this. So,
I have a story.
I can hear radio good. Although radio, I think you probably should tilt your camera down like
Yeah.
that much. That much. So, I just see like this much.
Hey.
No.
Hit my camera.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, nice.
There, my.
Cool shot. Cool hat shot.
Well, I
There.
love it when everything goes so smooth like this, right, guys? So, oh snap, Snarky stream. Yeah, Austin, we are having a major internet kerfuffle apparently.
All this
So,
kerfuffle is making me hungry.
we are having a major internet kerfuffle. We're hoping to move past this. So, radio is all centered now. He looks good. All right. Well, guys, today we are talking about expectation versus reality in China. So, and of course, I want to talk about, I guess, radio. Want to introduce yourself? Where are you calling in from today?
Okay. So my name is Radio, as you may know. I'm a YouTuber. I'm an artist as well. I live in Wenzhou, China, which is in Zhejiang province, not far from Hangzhou. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's who I am.
There we go. All right. Bunny, where are you calling in from today?
I'm coming from Hong Kong, so I'm actually Snarky's wife. And then I joined him and others remotely from Hong Kong.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and Simon is joining us. Where are you joining us from today, Simon?
What?
It's a little bit to learn.
Simon, where are you from? Faraway land? I can't hear you.
He's muted.
No, he's not male, but then his voice doesn't go through the mic.
Okay.
It seems to, when I record internally to my computer, it picks up my audio fine, so it might be an internet thing.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
I know.
You need
I
to shout.
know-
Shout, Simon. You gotta speak really loud. Then you gotta speak like super loud.
You get like
Shout.
a tin can and a couple strings and
Oh,
so
Simon.
I know in the past when my audio hasn't been working, what I've done is I've gone through and disabled every microphone entirely and then just had one microphone plugged in. So I don't know if that will help or not, but I'm hoping we can move past this. Let's see. So Bunny says she's using a MacBook without a mic.
No,
So-
no mic
He's
required.
using a good old cheapo Apple knockoff headphones.
There you go.
I have a Sony one, but somehow I feel like it's better to detect the sound is better through without the mic in the Mac computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, without
All
access.
right. Well, we're going to see if we can push through, and I apologize for the things. What is this? Remember Kodak? Yeah, Kodak was having the same issue too. So too many mics. So, and Simon, hopefully we can get his technical kerfuffle worked out. But
Well, I guess there's the three of us now.
Yeah.
so yeah, three of us, and before long it's gonna turn into the Johnny Show again. I just know it. So, boom, it's the Johnny Show, just like
Well,
that.
Everybody gets free gum.
There we go. There we go. So most of us, we are newcomers to this faraway land called China, with the exception of my beautiful wife, who has the opposite experience of having the expectation of like USA, for example, versus the reality. So we're gonna, kind of explore both ends of that today. I can tell you that my first expectation when I first moved to Hong Kong, when I was just about this tall and significantly less of a portly snarky than I am now, is I assumed that all clothes were made in China, and therefore I would have no problem finding clothes that would fit me. Boy, was I mistaken. So there we go. It wouldn't be a Snark Lounge without a technical issue. That is so true, man. Straya is bang on. Speaking of Straya, I'm gonna jump in here and say Straya and I need to work out the details. But Straya and I are going to be doing a collaboration over squeezable Vegemite coming up in the near future. So that should be fun. So Radio, where are you from, man?
I am from North Carolina. Of course, it's United States.
Of course.
That's where I'm born and raised. And yeah, that's where I'm from. Good old North Carolina.
So what were your? So when did you come to China?
I came to China in 2015.
2015. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you first came to China, was there any sort of expectations you had about China?
Expectations about China. I guess my expectation would be something that I travel guides, like the mountains and like monks and kung fu and things like that. That was like my expectations, like coming to China. And then when I came to China, I was like, oh, this looks like New York City, but bigger. Yeah, so that was my expectation when I first came to China, was that everything was going to look very like nature-y. Everything looks like something out of like a kung fu movie. Looks like out of like reading like myth, like books, like the 10,000. Was it the with the monkey? That kind of expectation where everything looks like
the Monkey King.
Yeah, the Monkey King. Like it looks out of a fantasy movie, right? Like the streets look like Old Town. People are still riding in carts and stuff like that. And then I realized, no, that's not it. But no, I would say not entirely, because I obviously knew that, you have Shanghai and Beijing. So I was suspecting that it was going to be a mixture of all that. But when I came, I was like, no, this is like it's like Chinatown, but bigger. Yeah, no, it's just more people. So that was my expectation. I wasn't too what's that word? I wasn't disappointed at all. It was like, oh, okay, I kind of should have known it's not going to be like that, but
There we go.
It is what it is.
Awesome. So it's like Journey to the West. That was where the Monkey King was from.
Yeah.
So there we go. Jamaica Funk wanted to know what city in North Carolina are you from?
I'm from Kernersville, North Carolina. It's like 15 minutes from Winston-Salem, and there's also another 15 minutes from Greensboro. It's like in the middle of the Triad area. So I'm not far from both cities, from Greensboro and Winston-Salem. I usually just say I'm from Winston-Salem because it's more popular.
Yeah.
If I say Kernersville, they're like, "What's Kernersville? What is that?" And like, I'm from Winston-Salem. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much how I explain that to everyone, and especially to Chinese, like, because they always say, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm from North Carolina, and they're like, North Carolina, and I say, "Oh, Michael Jordan." Like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I know North Carolina." You know.
Nice. So, everyone, welcome back. A very happy-faced Simon.
I hope this is somewhat better.
Oh,
Yeah, it improved. Yeah.
Do you want to know the secret? I
is the
changed
secret?
nothing.
What's the secret?
what's the secret?
No secret. I literally did nothing.
Oh,
It was like the secret ingredient and the secret ingredient soup in Kung Fu Panda. It's
Right.
nothing.
no.
There you go.
Just
Nice.
Just some extra salt.
So, Simon, you are just in time, sir. Where are you from in the world?
Okay, great. So originally I'm South African, but I moved to New Zealand in 2001. And I left New Zealand for China in 2016, went to Shanghai.
Okay. So what were some of your initial expectations of China versus your reality, shall we say, of China?
Yeah, so, I had a fair amount of time where I knew in advance that I'd be moving to China. So I did a lot of research. And by research, I mean I binge watched YouTube videos, right? And so I feel like I actually had a pretty good idea. But there's this one thing in particular that I'm actually quite embarrassed about. And it was a joke that was going around my rugby team in New Zealand, where basically, I'm a little guy. I'm a 1.72 meters, right? Which is like 5'8", I believe, 5'7". So I'm quite short, and I'm very short for a rugby player. And so all my rugby team would always joke that when I go to China, I was going to be a prop, which is the largest person in the team. And in my heart, I knew it was true, but there was a small part of me that was kind of hoping maybe I'd be a little bit taller compared to the average in China. So when I arrived there and I stepped up to the metro and all of these young dudes are heads above me, I was like, okay, so Chinese people aren't short and I'm still shorter than average.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. Did you know, by the way, that on average in the world, that China has the tallest people in the world by average?
Really?
Really?
I read that in a couple places. So it is by average, mind you.
Right.
So, although I think technically speaking, if you want to actually measure them out, the Dutch have the tallest people in the world.
Yeah.
I was gonna say a lot of Eastern Europeans. They're very tall. Dude. I'll be like, hey, how are you doing? Step ladder.
Right. It's a bit of a false for me because the Dutchmen in South Africa, the Afrikaans are descended from the Dutch, so they're very big people on average. And then I slip right under their legs when on the rugby field. It's a bit of a height challenge for me, I guess.
There we go. So Bunny, you are unlike us, not newcomer to China and Hong Kong. So, did you have any preconceptions about America?
Yes, I guess two things that surprised me. One is Walmart. Because in Hong Kong, there's no Walmart, so I can only see the Walmart. I have only the Walmart impression from China or Shenzhen or Shanghai. So went to, is it Tulsa? Oh, no, it's Chicago. I forget it. Like, last year we went to USA, and we went to, Peoria. Remember, Peoria. And then the Walmart. I went to, what? This is Walmart? It is absolutely different from, because the one in mainland China is quite Chinese style, just like the same as the local big supermarket. But if you go to America, the entire settings, the color theme, the decorations, the renovation, everything is absolutely different. So I think, this is different. I don't think if they don't have the logo saying it's Walmart, I don't see it as a Walmart. Another thing is actually the fast food restaurant. So if you're in Asia, not just in Hong Kong or China or mainland China, you go to a restaurant and first thing say, I want to order that this, and then just wait for the food. But when I was in America, the first 1 minute, they're talking about, hey, how are you doing? What's up? Spend almost like 1 minute like conversation and more like before you make any order. Or the first time I hear that, I was like, I was standing next, like aside. I was like, can you stop? Can I order now? I don't know when to stop. That was when to end the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's kind of funky the way fast food is a lot different in America, definitely. So one thing I was kind of expecting when I came to China, of course, was rickshaws everywhere and everybody doing, kung fu. And come to find out, there's not rickshaws everywhere. Now, having said that, there is I guess, 2 old men in Hong Kong that still have a rickshaw license from the 1970s, and they can still keep their rickshaw license, but they can't issue any new ones.
There was one a couple of years ago. There was one rickshaw near the Star Ferry Pier in Tsim Sha Tsui. They put it there, you can take photos.
They were in Central on the Hong Kong island last I knew. And I think there was 2 of them, but they're precariously close to being fossils at this point. So, yeah. But Radio, have you ever seen any rickshaws in China before?
Rickshaws. Yeah, I actually don't. What is it? Okay. Yeah, what is it exactly? A newcomer. I'm a newcomer, so.
Uncle Foreigner is in the house, and he has a great answer. He says, "Who is rickshaw? Is that a wrestler?
Is it actual a place for teaching the kung fu art or the martial arts, or is it I don't know? Or is
Let's
it
So
because I'm not in Wenzhou, none at all.
So,
none.
Bunny, can you explain what a rickshaw is to us?
It's a transportation, a vehicle, a mechanic transportation. It happened or it started in the 18th centuries in the southern part of China. Get it?
Yeah, it's one of those things where a guy holds a couple of sticks and he runs along, and there's a seat behind you, 2 big wheels.
Oh.
And sometimes you'll see those in a lot of movies. So
they have some here, but I think it's mostly for moving things. A lot of them, because I know there's this guy from Anhui. He does a rickshaw, but it's mostly just for hauling things. If you got stuff, maybe I'm getting things mixed up here, but maybe I'm wrong. But they haul it. They come and say, "Hey, you have a TV or something? Let me move it." They literally walk.
Yeah.
Blocks away.
But a rickshaw is particularly for human beings. For you to sit on it, so they have a cover too.
I think because I live in Wenzhou, but there's another part of Wenzhou called Yongjia. It's part of Wenzhou, but a lot of them. There's some places where they still kind of do the rickshaw, but it's only for touristy. It's a touristy thing, I guess.
There you go.
Because that area is still quite yeah.
Alex, we have rickshaws in Wenzhou. It's not in the main city. Places Mixi, you can see them.
Yeah.
Of course, you can see now. I think they have the what I call the garbage rickshaws. And they little guys, hauling the garbage behind them with a little garbage rickshaw. So
and they literally they'll go they just go far, just as far as they can, and just drop it off and okay, go on to the next one. And sometimes they'll stop traffic. Literally, they'll stop traffic and why is this guy in the middle of the road? So
Shinzo says rickshaw is a hand-drawn carriage being pulled by human muscle, not horse-drawn. Oh, here we go. Best one still. Rick Astley pulling rickshaw. We have been rickrolled. Rickrolled.
Yeah, the other day
I
didn't realize he actually has a YouTube now. He just started a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
really?
he did.
Yeah.
Do I want to watch it?
I just saw it in my recommendations. That's how YouTube works.
I'll look it up later. Maybe.
My recommendations, Rick told me.
Yeah.
Although I suspect on Rick Astley's YouTube, every moment you're getting rickrolled.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. So
I'd be a little bit disappointed if that's what it wasn't.
well, you know, the guy can probably never live that down. No matter what he does for the rest of his days, it'd be like, oh yeah, you're the Rickroll guy.
Never gonna give that up.
Never gonna give it up. Never gonna give you up. Anyway, so Simon, what other expectations did you have of China that were sadly completely blown out of the water?
Sadly, so things that perhaps I looked forward to that wasn't so much the case. I was a little bit surprised by the architecture. You know, even with all the binge watching you do to prepare for the move, you're not really entirely prepared for the apartment villages, those little communities that are just 6 stories tall in every building. And for me, that was kind of like, oh, it's just a big square. And they're not always the most good looking from the outside. A lot of the time you'll walk into the apartments and they'll be very well decorated and quite lovely inside. But from the outside, it kind of just looked like a bit of a monstrosity from the 80s, right? And so the two expectations I had were these amazing high-tech modern towers and skyscrapers and things to that effect, and then these awesome old style architecture with the wooden beams and things to that effect. And so I was a little bit disappointed to see a lot of familiar ugly square buildings around.
Yeah, no kidding, right? So that was like I was kind of expecting the apartments to have be tiny with paper thin walls, and well, I was half right. But Austin, here we go. Austin is our party a couple days ago, and that Rickroll song came on, and his wife had never heard of it. He was flabbergasted. Yep. Never gonna give you up. There we go. So
leave your wife. Joking.
I don't think Rick Astley's that important, man.
You don't know who he is. Divorce.
Oh man! Of all reasons to end a relationship, I'm sorry you don't know this song. That's it. Yeah.
Over.
So that's like I am still trying to get Bunny to watch Star Wars with me, and she still hasn't done it.
Okay.
So,
any of them at all?
Is he a Trekkie? Is he a Star Trek fan?
So, Bunny, can you tell us what Star Trek is?
What is Star Trek? Something related to Star Wars.
There we go. So, Star Trek is related to Star Wars. So, I know what radio is going to say next. I know it's coming. Go on, man.
What do you mean? I don't know. I have no. What is it? What's coming next?
Oh. What is that?
Live long and prosper.
Yeah. Live long and perspire. There we go. So, Strake is like, I've opened up Pandora's box. True story, man. Star Trek fans are going to start flaming.
Please not your job. Be quiet.
So Star Trek and Star Wars
first thing
are very passionate. So, but I mean the walls I were expecting to be paper thin, but in fact the walls in our apartments are like these big, massive, thick concrete things. So in the winter, it's actually colder in our home than it is outside in the winter. So
that's the heater.
There we go. Bowen saying, "What, you haven't seen Star Wars?"
No, I haven't.
It's okay. You're not really missing anything. The first three original. The first 3 original are good.
No.
After The Empire Strikes Back, that was good, but it was not directed by George Lucas, so it's a good one.
Well, to be fair, I have to say there were only 6 Star Wars movies. I don't count the last 3 as having existed. So,
Jar Jar.
But beyond American pop culture movies, Bunny, what other expectations of America or the West were you expecting that were just completely not true?
I'm interested to hear this.
Well, another thing I guess is really the height of people were the height of Dutch people. So I was in the Netherlands for like I was relocated there for 3 months, and I was told they're tall, but I didn't expect that tall like this. So the trouble is when you go to the bar and you go to the restaurant, the toilet is I'm talking the ladies' toilet. So basically, it's almost as one sort of toilet. The height is almost up to my chest. Above my waist and up to my chest. I was thinking how to climb. You have to sit with a pipette. So how to move my pipette above the toilet so that I can use the toilet. I was like, okay. And the next thing is, people with that height, their body size are bigger, right? So if you go to buy the underwear, I was like, come on. So the underwear, one side of the bra can cover my face. I was like, bro, you know what I mean?
So,
like,
I have to ask, how did you get on the toilet in the Netherlands?
I'm okay. Only on some toilets, or one. Not every toilet. Only on particular spots. The toilet is so tall, and I turned out I gave up using that toilet.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be a grand adventure here, but it ended very abruptly there.
I don't want to go into that.
I set something down, crawl on top. I took a long stick and I pole vaulted. So, but yeah. So there we have it. I kind of thought, and I don't know why I did. I had this whole idea that China was going to be like that scene from Indiana Jones, a short round in Shanghai. I kind of thought all of China was going to be like that. And I still haven't found short round yet, but yeah. When I actually arrived in Hong Kong, when I was a kid, we flew in. At that time, the airport in Hong Kong was just a little bit of runway going right out into the water. And so the airplane had to come in. The airplane had to come in between all the buildings, just flying between the buildings, turn around and abruptly land. So you could see into people's apartments as you're landing. That was the craziest thing. To this day, there are still tire marks on top of some buildings in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So that is nuts.
That is
the airport too.
I would have loved to see that.
Well, there's still some old footage, obviously. But back in the day, it was kind of a thing. You go with a bunch of friends up to the top of a building because the buildings can only be so tall because of the airport, right?
Oh,
and so we go there and sit on the buildings, and you look up as the airplanes are coming. You're like, keep looking, ah! And that was, and I'm sure it was nowhere near you, but it was the most trippy thing. So,
wow.
But what is this? Couple of comments here. Expectations in the West. I live in Virginia before moving to California and moving to Hong Kong. There we go. So, yeah, Kai-Tak was that was the name of the airport. It was really tiny.
Yeah.
So, Bunny, actually, her home in Hong Kong is not far from the old Kai-Tak airport. So,
we can see from the, let's say, a corridor. We can actually see through the window and then go to the Kai-Tak airport. Right now, the area is renovated, and then we have a lot of high-rise building built on top of the land. Yeah.
Did you ever fly out of Kai-Tak at all?
Never. My first flight started with the new airport, Cheddar Cove, already.
Okay.
Yeah.
For those of you who are not aware, they actually built a new airport out in Hong Kong, which is probably a good idea. So, Radio, what was some other expectations you had of China and the reality of that?
Expectations. I would say how super traditional China is how they religious, or they're very I guess mostly part religious, like Buddhists. They're very religious, very super hardcore traditional.
Okay.
And then when I came to China, it's not like that at all. Actually, they're not as hardcore traditional as I thought they would be. They're very like.
How are you expecting that to be, though?
I guess in terms of like lifestyle, in terms of
Uh-huh.
like how the Chinese are in their everyday lives, especially living in the city, it's like their traditions, they sometimes are like non-existent. Versus like we live in the rural areas of China where there are some sort of like traditions that is like passed down from generations to generations.
Yeah.
So like coming here, it's like it's very weird. It's not like I'll give you an example. It's like Thailand. Thailand, when you go to Thailand, you can instantly feel like there's tradition. Like there's like this deep grain
Yeah.
ingrained like
Yeah.
Buddhist and like people are like, you know, part of the tradition. Or like even Japan too, where Japan has like the mixture of tradition and like modernism all in one. You can feel it. When you come to here, it's like it's you can't really see it because of all the buildings, right? Everything looks so modern. It's hard to tell. Versus if you like go out in like the sticks, right? You can kind of see that there are some traditions still being taught and passed down. So that's pretty much my expectations when I came to China. Like it's gonna be like very like everybody's like so traditional and like, but it's
Yeah.
not the case. It's kind of like non-existent sometimes.
Yeah.
I would even say maybe I'm not wrong for saying it. I feel like maybe they're embarrassed a little bit about the traditions, or like they kind of don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, this is the new thing. We need to just focus on that. And there's not much of a backbone of traditions here. I mean, they still have a little bit of traditions, like they're like the festivals and the whole like marriage and type of thing, but like not like this over like I say overbearing, not that overbearing, but like just this huge explosion of traditions in a city.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That was something else I kind of thought. Speaking of the little guy who just jumped on me here, Skittles just decided to join the stream. I kind of assumed that everybody would be eating dog and cat.
Doggy.
I kind of assumed everybody would be. And fortunately, that's not the case. Now, I want to go to Simon. Have you experienced that sort of thing? I mean, did you expect everyone to be eating dog and cat in China?
I did not. It's something that I didn't really know much about China before I accepted my position in China, right? And so everything that I learned wasn't from old stereotypes or things like that. It was mostly just from what I saw on YouTube. And obviously, some people did discuss the issue on YouTube, and so I was aware of it. I knew at that point in time when I was moving, 2016, that there were like festivals in certain regions in China where it was quite pronounced. But then, as far as I was aware, outside those festivals, it was a bit more of a rarity. But having said that, I actually had found a place in Shanghai, just coincidentally looking on Baidu Maps on my phone, that was advertised as a dog meat place, which was a little disappointing. But having said that,
here in Shanghai,
yeah, it was in Pudong's Central Avenue side. Either that, or it could just be me confusing my Chinese characters for dog. But having said that, it's never been something I've personally encountered or have or know anyone who has, really, at least within my local community. But no, I didn't really expect. I didn't expect it a lot either, to be honest.
So, here's something that's interesting. So, as I read somewhere, it's legal to eat dog and cat in 44 states in the United States too. What?
That's interesting. I didn't know that. I need to Wikipedia that.
Is that a thing, radio?
No. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so.
I
I
know.
think if that is the case, people will be like protesting every day on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it would be odd to ban it. It might not be common or morally accepted.
Maybe it's like
but it's kind of odd for there to be a law to say you can't eat dog food. Really?
Yeah, I just did search dog meat for 4 feet. Well,
wow, that's interesting.
No.
I mean, it's not one of those. It's not one of those blue laws. Like there's a thing called blue law in America where like there's laws that hundreds of years ago.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
no one really follows it. Like,
oh yeah,
sure.
Well, it's like when I lived in Oklahoma, one of the blue laws there is you cannot take a bite out of someone else's hamburger. That's a law. Or you cannot march your elephant downtown. You can't take a corner at more than 7 miles an hour because your horse might tip over. So, and apparently it is illegal for a man to wear a woman's undergarments in Oklahoma. So,
well, that's restrictive.
There you go. So, Bunny, do we now we were talking about the dog. Have you actually seen a lot of people were eating dog in China? Is that a big thing? Have you seen?
I haven't seen it like by eyes. I mean, in real situation, but I saw it from the newspaper, especially in Guangxi. So the western, the province, which is in the west of Guangdong Canton. So they have like a dog. I forget it's dog market. That once a year or twice a year, they really sell the dog. So, and the bad thing, it is not a bad thing. There's something even worse. So some people, they're actually like a dog-friendly people. They want to protect their dog. So they want to go there and then buy the dog. So, I mean, just to save their lives. And the sellers, so they know that. So they intend to increase the price because they know those pet lovers, they will come and buy it, doesn't matter what. So the higher the price they increase, that means those people can save only less dogs they can because they have only limited budget. So that is something I hate because they intend to sell it higher price because I don't agree with what they're doing, but then they even do worse is they intend to they in purpose they sell the price higher. They increase the price for that. That was something very but then I remember that this year they passed a law. I mean, the government passed a law saying it's illegal to eat cat and dog. I forget it's illegal to sell or illegal to eat. But somehow it's a good sign to stop it. Yeah. Now I got Radio and Snarky.
I've got the same issue. Am I right, Bunny?
I mean, yeah.
Bunny, I can hear you fine. I can't hear the other. How am I?
I can hear you too, Simon, right now. So yeah,
we can continue the conversation. But I actually believe, and someone in chat can maybe look this up. I believe that market you're referring to was actually closed a couple of years back. So it's become a bit more underground and harder for them to go about it because there was a lot of backlash in regards to that in a couple of years ago. There was a lot of quite negative press around it because a lot of dogs were getting stolen and things to that effect, and because of the jacking up of the price. And so I actually do believe at some point the government stepped in to close that down. I think I got you, Snarky. No. I'm feeling validated. It's not me this time.
Yeah, lucky. But somehow the bad thing is just another topic that is somehow it's quite not really like how to say, not really comfy. That audience in China, audience on the internet, boom, slow. You never know why.
Right. And that's probably why you're doing it in America.
Are we back? Can you guys hear me?
I got you.
All right.
But your video, your face, like your video is still blurry.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Well, I asked a certain someone to check into the internet about making it faster, and she said she was going to check into that a few weeks ago. But
Oh, you forgot to remind that person,
Oh, I need to remind that person. Yes. So let's see. Someone said that we were having technical difficulties. So, all right. Are we back? Can everybody hear us?
I've got Radio. I've got Jimmy. Got Bunny.
Yeah.
I'm here. I never left.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Snark is back.
The Snark is back.
Back.
Like a rap song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Snarky's back. Back again. So
Snark
he's
is back. He'll never
every
go
Snark
back.
nonsense must have been one technical kerfuffle. True story.
All
right. So we were talking about eating dog. I actually experienced this when I was a kid in Hong Kong. A friend of mine, his grandma, came in from the mainland and cooked us some food, and it tasted kind of funny. And I asked her what it was, and she said chicken.
No.
And I questioned this because I've had chicken my whole life. I said, chicken. And she's like, shakes her head. She's like, chicken. Ruff, ruff.
Yeah.
So, that wasn't exactly chicken.
That's the kind of surprise meat you don't want to find out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're like, oh no, not Pluto.
So,
Pluto.
here's a great question. Apart from dog meat, do Australians eat kangaroo meat? I think
Yeah.
they do.
Absolutely.
We gotta have an Australian here. Let's go find one.
Well, there's one in the chat. Australia can answer, but my brother lives in Australia, and when we went for Christmas a few years back, kangaroo was a large selection of the meat portion. So I thought this was interesting and helped myself to a homemade kangaroo burger. It was okay.
So how was it?
Like, I enjoyed it, but I can't say I enjoyed it more than anything else. I don't really have a distinct memory of it being fantastic or it being. But to be honest, had nobody told me, I probably would have not figured it out.
Wow.
Yep. Straya says people freak out when Aussie explains we eat roux all the time. Well, dude, I mean, you eat what's on the menu, right?
Yeah, well, Kangaroo Jack makes roux look so cute and cuddly, right? But they're a bit of a pest, so.
There we go. I had roux for dinner. Nice.
When you eat the burger, it's like, well, that's a burger.
Very lean. That's it's very lean.
Well, I was, that was the thing, talking about local meats and foods, kind of got on this rabbit trail. I experienced that as well when I first went into mainland China when I was a kid. They would have the in-flight meal on the trains. They had the slow trains, and they had these styrofoam boxes full of rice, little vegetables, and they were closed. You see a long rat tail just hanging out of the styrofoam box.
My God.
And that was a thing.
Yeah,
that was the thing.
I've learned, don't look at the boxes.
Yeah, you just
peace of mind. Don't.
Bunny, did you ever see those rat boxes in China?
Rat boxes?
Yeah, the little, they're eating rat.
No.
Oh,
Snarky. Snarky, in America we have that Jack in the Box. In China, they have rat in the box.
So,
rat in the box.
It just jumps at you,
What we have in the New Zealand fish and chip shops is you'll go there and they'll have different fish on the menu, right? And you whatever, $4 for a tataki or $5 for a snapper, and you go order the fish that you want and whatever meal you're getting, and then when you watch them cooking it, your friend will order the tataki and you'll have the snapper, and they'll get your order out of one box, put it in, and then they'll get your mate's order out of the same box and put it in. And you go, all right, I paid $1 extra for the same fish he's getting, fine.
Wow.
So
ironically, all this talk about food, I'm actually quite hungry right now. It's weird.
Yeah, I am having a delayed dinner after this, so I look forward to it now.
There you go. Hey, it's Lucy.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lucy.
Good morning.
So someone's asking, hey, Radio, is there really rat in the box?
Well, I don't know. We'll have to go find out.
There you go.
That'll be my new video. That'll be my new video. Top 5 reasons why you should try rat in the box.
I would watch that video. I would definitely watch that video.
One. It's nutritious. Anyway, so yeah. I don't know.
It's plentiful.
It's plentiful.
When I was a kid, I remember I was in Guangzhou and I saw these little kids. There's about 5 kids. They were chasing this massive rat. I mean, we're talking Princess Bride style rodents of unusual size. They're chasing this thing, and they had a rope tied around this rat, and they're playing with it. And I keep on wondering, How many times did those kids get bitten trying to tie that rope around that rat?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Poor
But
rat.
yeah, that was another expectation I had, was that when I come to China, that I'd be working about 397 hours a week. But yet I discovered, at least for me, the workload wasn't as bad as it was in America.
I have
So-
the same expectations in reality. Yeah, absolutely.
So what was your experience with that, Simon?
So coming from I was teaching in New Zealand in a high school before I moved to China, and then in a lot of the research, a lot of the YouTube videos I watched online, they would often talk about how different schools really, work you hard, and you have to do all these classes, and you've got summer expectations and things of that effect. So I was expecting a very heavy workload. Meanwhile, in New Zealand, if you're working full time there, you'll have anywhere between 20 to 24 periods a week, which doesn't sound like a lot, but we've got less periods, so we'll only have 5 classes a day. So you actually have 25 classes a week maximum.
Ooh.
So it means often you have 1 free slot if you're a busy teacher, 4 or 5 if you're lucky, for the whole week. So that was 1 break a day if you're doing well. So going from that to China, where it was like my first job, I had a 38-hour week and maybe 15 or 16 classes that were shorter. I was like, yeah, sweet, no problem.
Oh wow!
And the pay is better too.
There you go.
To go off of what you were saying about like education, my expectation when I came to China was that the kids would be very obedient and very like, yes, teacher, and like disciplined. But no, that's not the case.
Why was that not the case?
Because a lot of I guess maybe because my private school that I work for, like a lot of the kids are rich kids. So a lot of rich kids are spoiled, and the parents, majority of them are actually not being brought up by their parents. They're being brought up by their grandparents. So their discipline is very bad, spoiled, me first. I'm not gonna listen to you. You're just a foreign teacher. And I always thought my expectation, and it goes back to like watching like a lot of like the kung fu movies and Chinese movies, like the parents are very strict, like listen to teacher and stand up, and kids are pulling on my ear and kicking me and wiping their mouth on my shirt, and I'm like, where's these kids come from? And of course there are some kids that are very like, they're very disciplined, but from what I see, those parents, they're actually they're taught by the real parents, not their grandparents. But I would say though that the kids that I teach, they're very like, they're nice kids, but majority of them, mostly boys, they're just very like, just, oh my gosh, like where did they come from? Like this is not what I expected, right? So yeah, that was my expectations, and then my expectations just went down after that.
Yep.
So yeah.
Funny you look like you had something to add on to that.
Yeah, actually, the very well-disciplined kids that apparently saw actually from the Kung Fu movie, something existed in the 1970s and 1980s. But after 1980s, it's difficult to see, because most like right now, the kids that you're teaching, they come from the parents who are 1970s or 1980s, so they don't like this kind of discipline. So they actually teach the kids as much like, freedom, whatever. It's just freedom doesn't mean you don't have to teach the kids, especially if you see right now, like if you go to the malls, you see most of the babies, I'm talking about babies, like 2 to 3 years old, they're holding an iPad. So the parents just pass the iPad, or if they cry, the best choice is to give them an iPad. They don't even train them or teach them. So learn discipline.
Schindler says the one-child policy resulted in many parents overly pampering the single child.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Little emperor syndrome.
Yeah.
So I've seen that a couple of times. I did a stint in a kindergarten a couple of years ago, and I remember this kid come in, no joke, 50 kilograms kid come in with a thing of chips under his arm, and he tried to punch a little girl who went to take his chips. So crazy.
Maybe I'm a little biased, but like in when it comes to teaching students, the girls are always not all the time. They're the best. They're very obedient, but the boys are just
My
dear.
God.
Yeah, they're just most of them are very bad. Most of them.
One kids come with 4 grandparents, 2 parents. That means 6 adults surrounding them. And even they know that, today if I piss off my dad, it's okay. I can come to I can go to my 4 grandparents. What is something I worry about if I were a kid?
That's quite
There we
funny.
go.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, we got a couple of comments here. Lucy says too much tech in the hands of really. Yeah, it's true. True story. So, and
children.
so obedient children. Ha 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 ha.
Obedient children. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say like. I mean, children. I would say children should have that ability to be free and like, don't pressure them too much. But when it comes to like, when you're teaching the students and stuff, there has to be like a respect. A lot of the time, especially with foreign teachers, a lot of the times, a lot of the Chinese students have a hard time, especially if you're a male teacher. A lot of the students want to challenge you, especially the boys, because like, oh, you're a male, so I'm going to challenge you. And there's not this rule of like respecting the teacher.
There we go.
They're not taught that. So I don't, but at the same time, they're also getting that they're getting that perspective of getting a foreign teacher. So they're getting to see a lot of like who we are and what we see and things like that. So there has to be this cultural exchange, but it also has to be like this respect for one another. Otherwise, you're just gonna have these kids just running all over you.
True story.
So I feel like we're kind of like, hey, like you can do that with your grandma, but you can't do that with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
True story.
So that's just my thing.
Yeah.
I always ask him, what you need a mama, ma? What you need a ayi, ma?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna clean up after you. So I wanted to touch on what Radio was saying because I had the same expectation moving to China, and what I realized when I got here very quickly is exactly what Jamaica Funk said in the comments: boys will be boys, and I'll extend that to say kids will be kids, right? And that because at the end of the day, sure, there's a lot of amazing, obedient, super, rulers in their back who never bend over a hunch once within your 2-hour class or whatever you. But for the most part, these kids on average are exactly like the kids I had taught in New Zealand at length, and so there was nothing. I know about the little emperor syndrome and things to that effect, and maybe it's just because that syndrome in China is replaced by a different syndrome, like single parent. There's a lot of single parents in New Zealand, so maybe that creates a similar effect or something. But from what I've learned, the reality, I had the expectation of super obedient children in class, and the reality I had was that Chinese kids are just like kids anywhere else that I've taught in my history so far, which has been quite a fair amount within New Zealand as well, actually.
True story.
I guess maybe it depends on, because I teach more of the younger side, so maybe my like experience is a little different than someone teaching like maybe a higher level. So probably that's why I'm a little bit like, oh, these kids, I'm pretty sure if you were teaching higher levels, they're probably more respectful, more, behave properly. Maybe.
Like the high schoolers aren't pulling your ears and jumping on your back radio.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I teach native English speakers literature, and those guys, they seem on the veneer like they're very well behaved, but they have the filthiest mouth you can.
When I was in high school, I also teach the university. I also did some tutorial class to some junior school students. So I once have a junior school student, ladies, as a girls. So the first time we met, I went to her home to teach her English, and she always have a saying called. I'm trying to translate. It's like she always say, "Eat shit and do number 2 with rice." So I always challenge her. Okay, shit, we can eat it. So how can you actually have the rice coming out from the from the body? And she has to shut up. So what I feel like, but then sooner or later, somehow it's funny. I don't give her if she says something like that, I don't actually take it. I will just reply bad reply in this way, and she has to be quiet. But somehow we become friends. I guess those people, she just want to challenge when they grow up in like a puberty or time or teenage time. They want to challenge the adult, and then if they realize that this adult is not something that you can easily challenge, they have to respect you. They will respect you. That is what I find out from her.
Absolutely.
Very
Yeah.
true,
Absolutely. Well, guys, we are almost out of time here. I do want to offer everyone a chance to get in their final thoughts, of course, and I want to ask them to introduce their channels and what they may have coming out. But of course, on this subject, I think as far as your expectations and realities, that your expectations will always be different than what the reality is. So you should probably just come to China. Well, when the borders are open, anyway. But I want to give everyone a chance to give everyone a last 30 seconds. Oh, there we go. Perfect, Bunny. Perfect, Bunny. So I want to give everyone a little bit of time. I want you to tell me what you have coming out on your channel in the near future and final thoughts. Let's go to Simon first.
Yeah. So final thoughts. I feel like I was quite lucky with my expectations and my realities of China. For the large majority of it, they're aligned, right? I would say that I'm actually quite a bit more worried about that in the current day and age, especially with the trade war in America and the struggling relationships with like India and Canada and stuff. There's a massive rise in sort of anti-China content online, and I would be fearful that people nowadays who do the same research I did on YouTube research, the same who look for information like I did years ago, are going to come or are going to have a very bad expectation, bad enough for them to not even want to come in the first place. So for me, that's what my YouTube channel is quite focused on now. I've shifted in the recent months to be a bit more focused on China life and China politics and things that affect in the ground here. I'm currently working on a video on that topic, and then I've got a lot in the pipe work in regards to teaching and how to find work in China and within the teaching circuit, how to develop a career out of it. If all goes well, in a few months I'll be debt free, and I want to do a lot of videos about money management in China and how to, if you're someone like me who was laden with debt, how you can really deal with that very effectively in China in a way that I think a lot of other countries don't give you the opportunity to. So there's a lot of content coming up on the channel. I apologize for the technical difficulties we had earlier on. If you're still watching, definitely look in the description below and watch a couple of videos, see if you like it.
There we go. Awesome. All right. Radio, I want to give you a chance to tell us about your channel, what you have coming out, and, of course, your final thoughts on the topic. Go.
Right now, I'm currently did a street photography video where I do some street photography in Wenzhou. Pretty much my channel right now, I'm like transforming it now to focus basically on my photography and art, but in China. And not just China, but other parts of, in Asia and other parts of the world if I ever travel after the border opens. So I'm focusing mostly just on photography, like camera, film, digital, art, painting, abstract art, etc. And that's pretty much the main focus of my channel from here on out. So if you guys want to check out my channel, please do. And also I'm on Instagram as well. Same name and all, because I post a lot of photography that I do around Asia. And for the topic of this, like Simon said, when a lot of the expectations, some of them I have been met, some of them, of course, not disappointed, but some of it was like, I was expecting that to happen. And I would say when I came in 2015, China was way different in terms of the politics and what was going on at the time. But,
yeah, definitely.
But I kind of felt that a little bit of what was going on currently now, because of the new president and the politics changing a bit. I can kind of sense that there was going to be something interesting going on here. And even to the point now where a lot of my friends back home are saying, "Wow, you came to China like this time, like how did that, you sensed something?" I said, "I didn't sense anything. I just came here on a whim."
There we
Yeah.
go.
So, but yeah, I think in my mind it's like sometimes just you have to realize that not everything you expect will be true. You just have to just go with it and go with the flow. Be flexible, be understanding, be open-minded, and everything will be okay. You know what I mean? Just take it day by day. Don't let things get you down. Don't get things bothering you. And try not to worry too much.
Yeah.
And things will work out in the end.
Yeah. So Bunny does not have a YouTube channel, but I do want to give her the opportunity to tell the folks what she's got going on and what she plans on doing in the near future.
Yeah, I guess I mean, continue to join my husband's channel. Like when I'm back to Shanghai, we're sitting in the same living room to do it instead of right now remotely. But if you think about, like, if you ask me about what I thought about a good part, bad part, or expectation China, I guess here the things, right? Even though it doesn't matter it's China or USA, when you go, when you live there, you find out some other things which is different from your perspective because we are cultural difference. Our background and culture will be different. That's why they have different the policy or like the culture that you would not appreciate at the very beginning. But somehow I think at the moment, doesn't matter what, try to understand, just like what radio say, understand them why they have it. And then try to accommodate if you can. If you enjoy and accommodate. If you cannot enjoy it, is there any way you can change it? I mean, that either way you change it, you accept it, or you just ignore it. That's no way. But what I would suggest, try to reduce the complaint, because the complaint is saying how bad it is. But then the next step or step back a little bit to ask ourselves, what do we expect or what do we want? That's just more important than what we want to complain about. That is something I think if you want to move to another part of the world, that is one thing that we need to be like, just like what radio say, more open mind, more try to understand the intention behind, and try to see if it is something that you don't find it really fit. Is there any way you can change it? Bring the good part of your culture to the bad part of the culture, so to improve the world better. That is what I really appreciate. That I'm looking forward to. I would say.
There we go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I got a couple of comments. I just want to, Shinzo's a good comment. The world is a vast place, and people have been everywhere. So there are bound to be expectations of the places like on the other side. True story. So I guess it'd be kind of boring if your expectations of China were the same as after you've been to China. Yup. Straya says he's still waiting on a Bunny Q&A video. So what do you think, Bunny? Do we need to do a Q&A video?
So what? If that's a question, then I will have an answer. But what are the questions?
It'd be like 60 minutes for Bunny.
There we go. So Lucy says Bunny's hair looks curlier. I like it. It looks nice.
That credit go to my barber. He has been my barber for more than 10 years.
Yeah, I think it looks amazing. Definitely. Well, like anything else, I definitely want to thank my guests for joining us. I want to thank you for joining us. As always carry a can of sardines. You never know when they'll come in handy. And guys, we'll see you next week on the Snark Lounge.
And Don Rickles is Don Rickles is a legend.
Don Rickles is a legend. True story.
Yeah, it is.
All right, guys, we will see you later. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.